Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin Ethereum report for Friday, July the 23rd. And starting with the crypto index here, this is the top 10, but even if you look at the top 100 or the total, it would be very much the same count as well. So obviously the index is weighted for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're looking at wave 3 over here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4 here, with wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Yes, we know that wave 4 overlaps wave 1 here, and this count wouldn't be any good for Bitcoin, but it would be fine for Ethereum. So we've been counting down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we're looking for an end, so that's popped in there. So this could be the low, right? But we'd need to gather more evidence of that. We know that this whole market moving down here, it's not like it's pounding down, it's like edging lower, and it's just sort of trapping the retail. The wholesalers are trapping the retailers. Yeah, so we can have a low in here. It's possible. Is it so? Probably not, but we are seeing our first little impulse wave to the upside here. So also too, what I was explaining yesterday is that this particular pattern here, like this, from this bounce off the low here in 3 waves and then moving down here, this is kind of a rinse and repeat of that first pattern. It's a little bit smaller than this one. This one's got more volatility in it. All the ranges are tightening up in here. So it's possible that we could extend this down further, as we talked about yesterday, which would leave this down here, this here, and this here, with a wave 4 here, and then this becomes the wave 3 here. All of this becomes wave 1 and 2 here, and it's more like an ending diagonal triangle in that way. So that's also possible as well. So we need to tread lightly here, right? Obviously we can see that on this index here, we can see that the 13,000 here, which is a major trading level. I don't normally use it with indices and FX stocks and so on, but I do with stock all the time, as you may know. But yeah, so anyway, that's, if we get support on that, then would be bullish at that point. So even if we do have this as an impulse wave to the upside here, it still could just be an A wave coming back for a B wave, and a C wave coming into play here for this. Breaking the trend line or not breaking the trend line doesn't really matter that much, but getting support on 13,000 would be, with the classic trading levels pattern, would be more bullish at that point. So obviously we can be long from that point. So we just got to figure out that, do we have an A and a B and a C wave coming in here for wave 4 and then one more low here? That's the question, and I don't have an answer for it. But solutions, we'll just need to work through it. Because we're talking about Elliott wave, we need to use Elliott wave techniques to navigate that. You may have other techniques, which is fine as well. So let me think here for a moment. The alternative count. Now, what did I have that as? Oh, no, it's on the Ethereum. So we need to move this, and I'll just put that back to daily. So the Ethereum chart here is just the same as the crypto chart in that regard. So we can look at the same pattern being played out here. So wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4. Here we do have a nice 5-wave structure down, so we could look at that as wave 1 and 2 and 3 here. Obviously wave 4 is overlapping wave 1, and that really puts a bit of a spanner in the works. But we did see gold do this when it was edging down to 1,000, from 1,800 down to 1,000. The lower end of all of that pattern was very similar to this. So it can get a bit wild and rugged and throw us all out, even the best of us. So we need to be a bit philosophical, and we need to take that on board. Of course, this could be counted differently, but I always try to keep things very simple as ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, the X wave is what it is. It's something that Prector created. I came on board in the 80s, and I was listening to him then, the early 80s. So he came in I think he was there 5 years before me, in 76, picking it up from the other boys. And yeah, so when people start adding things, you know, a bit like Glenn Neely and that, everybody start adding new things on top of it, I just sort of tended to steer away from that. Be that right or be it wrong, it doesn't really matter. I mean, all I've done to strengthen things up was add the trading levels, but that doesn't really interfere. Doesn't interfere with the count itself. It just sort of supports it. It's just really like another indicator, but just basically support and resistance, which I find helpful. Because it's very difficult to make money out of Elliott wave purely alone. I've seen some people do it. Both of them are women. But to just use Elliott without anything else is a very tricky thing. So I find support and resistance is something that people can relate to. So that's why I've developed the trading levels. So look, the same thing here as well. We could look at this as wave 1 up here, which we will do, but it also could be wave A and then a B wave and a C wave to the 61.8% here on this trend line, and then drop from here. So I really don't know. So we'll just have to be a little bit careful about things. So it depends on not so much what time frame that you trade, but what degree of structure within Elliott that you trade is a little bit more important. Sort of refine that a little bit further. Yeah, so we could have this as the low, or we could have one more over here of this. I'm not quite sure. So let's go in and check on this. So could pretty much just go to the 1 hour chart here. Yeah, that's not really counting it up. I think what I might do, is look at Bitcoin from here on in. But while we're here, okay, I think we might have it on the tick chart. Let's just check the tick chart. Okay, so this is the move up here, but we need to put it as, it could also be an A wave up here. Copy that, a B wave down here, and a C wave, copy this up here for that other wave 4 that we just talked about, okay? So I'll put that just there. We just need to be mindful of that. So all this leg up here could just be the A wave, then a B wave and a C wave to the 61.8% in that trend line, and then drop from that point. That's what we need to figure out. So yeah, I mean, buying bottoms and selling tops and all those sorts of things, sometimes you get it right straight up, but other times it can take 2 or 3 times. I mean, sometimes it's taken me 4 times to get it right, so you don't want to be risking too much, and you really want to be diligent. And, once you're in a trend, that's a different thing, that's they take care of themselves. So in this count going up here, some of the moves up here are fine. Some of them are a little bit dodgy, like the first wave here is a little bit dodgy, because you could look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So that's a bit of a problem. But this from wave 2 here all the way up to wave 3 here, would have to say it's a nice, strong, long third wave. And I'm quite happy about the third wave. That would leave the fourth wave here, and then that would leave this here as, if I can copy this, also a little bit dodgy as well here, as 1 and 2 here. This would be the third wave here, but in the third wave here, I'm not really getting 5 waves here. We could look at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So I could just draw this out for a moment, say wave 5 here. That would just make wave 3, and then wave 4, and then wave 5. Do you know what I mean? So 1 and 2, and just shooting the breeze here a little bit, 3 here and 4 here, and then wave 5 here. So I don't know how that's going to play out here. That wave 3 could also quite comfortably sit here, but it just doesn't really give me 5 waves here. So it's a bit of a problem here, but I don't think we need to worry about too much, because what we could do, I mean, if you're hodling, you want to be purchasing along these lows. You know, even if we do get another new low, well, then you'd buy again, you know, but in terms of trading, then that's a different cup of tea. So in this case, we've got the problem of, yes, we can look at this as an impulse wave, and we can come back to an A and a B and a C, and we could buy in here, but we could also come up here to this wave C, into this area here, and then fold again down that point. So that's the point that I don't know about. So we'll probably we'll be able to work it out once this move here starts, because if it's a wave C, if it is a wave C, it's going to be a little bit lazier, you know, compared to this strong move up here as wave A. So wave A is normally strong. You normally see it in corrections first, so the market would move up. The A wave coming down would be sharp, taking out stops and a whole lot of other little stories, and then wave C on a bit more of an angle, and that tells you the strength of the next move. You know, and if it's sharp as the A wave, well, then you've probably got your count wrong at that point. So this C wave going up here would also be on an angle as well. So we'll just see if that is the case. We'll see how that builds. Yeah. The other point here, it does appear that we're getting 5 waves here. That means that quite safely you could buy back in this box here. But it may just take you to here, and then we're going down again. I don't know if we're going down. That's the sort of annoying part of it all. But also too, if we get 5 waves, here, that means after a correction we're going to get another 5 here. So you could buy back into this space here. Yeah, let's have a look at Bitcoin. I mean, it's the same thing with Bitcoin really as well. Is this Bitcoin? Yeah. So with Bitcoin here, I was looking, this is a slightly different count because it doesn't count as well as down to finish off as well as what's the name, Ethereum. So in this case, I was looking for still wave 5 down here, but with an A and a B and a C wave here for wave A, and then an ABC for B, and then up for C here. So basically an A and a B and a C here for this, for wave B coming back up into the 50-60% retracement level area. We can see here, you know, there was a lot of emotion and a lot of things going on through here, but we can see that the whole thing is getting is petering out basically. But like I mentioned, there can be, there could be this move here could repeat itself like we did with Ethereum. So we've got this, an A and a B and a C wave up here, and then have another move down like this. So getting a smaller version of this particular, here. So this ABC here would be this little ABC here getting smaller at that point. So that's the problem. Yeah, I kind of like the idea that it will just go straight up from here, especially with Bitcoin. I feel it feels like it's ending here, you know, because everything was tightening up and yeah, just sort of drying up a little bit. But we don't know. I mean, the other point here too, I'm just shooting the breeze here because, you know, we're trying to figure out if we've got a low in place and what does that look like, and, you know, at what point will we know, and all the rest of it. I mean, it's quite, you know, it's like a ball bouncing on the ground, you know. This is the ground here of 30, and the first bounce was the highest, the second bounce was lower, and the bounce, and, you know, until it stops. Is that where it stopped? Is that it? Or do we have, you know, one more to come down on this? I really don't know. But I do know that this is starting to look like an impulsive wave up here. So that means once it finishes, it will pull back and it will go up. So there's probably a good chance to buy it. So let's just, I'm not sure what chart we can look in here on. This is this B wave low that I've been looking at. Yeah, we'll go to the tick chart to look at this here. I think that would be better. Okay, so we were counting this up yesterday. I've lifted it up 1 degree of structure. So where I've got this one here, I had a light blue wave 1 yesterday. But anyway, wave 1 here, and put in wave 2 just here for that. And then we're looking at wave 3 here. It's possible to have wave 3 here, like on top of this sharp move here, like I've done on Ethereum, but I just felt it counted better as an expanded flat, as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and then moving up here further. I mean, you could even look at this as the A wave here, the B wave over here, and the C wave here, and then a top being in play here as well. So still below this top, so probably not, but possible. But I guess what we're looking for, you know, with all trends, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this is the beginning here. This is the building process. This is the middle here. And this is the ending process here, where we're getting overlapping wave structures. So the market's starting to creep to the upside. So yeah, it can continue creeping. And I was sort of expecting that it would here give us another little high in here to the 33, maybe not so high, I don't know. But what we're really looking for is this ABC pattern here. And then just drawing a line through here to go long at that point. At the same time, we do need to be mindful too that the market could pull back. Let's just assume that it moves to that point there, may not quite reach it, but would kind of want a new high above this one. Not that it is important, but it could also move back down here in this as well. So just need to put that in there. It may be shallower than that. You know, it may just sort of come back to these areas through here. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, it can pull back into here. So be a bit mindful of that. Also too, we can go long. If you can't get that in there, you can go long above the B wave. And all said and done, if the market comes up here somewhere and drops back down here and you can't figure things out, at least what you do know is you do know that you have that top in play. So once the market goes up here somewhere, or that may even be that could be the top here as well. So if this just drops from here, then you'll know. If this moves down below wave 2, you'll know that's the top. And then I'll need to rearrange that a bit, but that's okay too. But what we're looking for is that drop, right? And then we're going to move into that recovery. That's what we want to do. So even if we do get a long position here, the thing is that even at the smallest outcome, if we take this and this here, and then look at that 61.8% there, that happens to be on that 61. That's right. Yeah, so wherever this comes down to, I mean, at the absolute minimum, say it comes down to here, this would be the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here. So you'd get that much out of it. But otherwise, there's normally equality. If we looked at this as wave A here, and wave B here, well, it would be the one smaller, wouldn't it? So we would need to look at it like this for wave A, and wave B here, and wave C here. I mean, normally there's a bit of equality between wave A and wave C. Now, I've gone for the smallest one, having 61.8% of the length of wave A there, but it should roughly be some equality between wave A and that. So technically, it should take you a fair bit higher. So that's the good move there. So that can get you to the next level, 35 there. So worst case scenario to the 34, good case scenario to the 35. So going long and buying back in, you know, wherever the 61.8% is, buying back in at that point, based on the 5 waves that we have here, which is looking quite good, or buying these high, that would be a position to be had there. And then what we could do here is just try to figure out if we're going to be bullish from this point. You know, are we going to be looking at a third wave to the upside here? Are we going up into wave 3 here? That's what we need to work out. And if you've got a small position in here, well, then you'll be reasonably satisfied and happy. You know, if you miss out, then yeah, it's just going to be a bit tough. But hopefully we get 1 and 2 in here, and then wave 3. We'll also look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting in here as well. So the arrival, the reaction, you know, the story here. If you get that here, then you can go long from that point there. That might make things a little bit easier than buying that top out there. And also the same thing applies here as well. You can certainly take profit once you reach 35, or part profit, or all of it, or whatever you want to do, but there will definitely, at the number 5, there will definitely be some sort of correction here that you'll be able to move in on as well at that point. But we'll get there. We'll pick that up perhaps on the weekend and put a video out and check on that. Alrighty, well, that's that. So yeah, just sort of recapping a little bit with all of this is that more so the market looks better with Ethereum than Bitcoin, but at the same time, whichever way we look at it, it's kind of well, it's luring and tempting to think that we could have a low in place here. Now, we may get that wrong, but if it is right, then this will be wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for this. So we'll have 5 waves up, and then the market will pull back 61.8% in 3 waves, kind of a larger 3 waves if this is going to play out like this, and then another move up to here. So in the bigger picture, you know, if this is all correct, and even if we do have another low here, this will be looking at much the same thing as well. And I need to take that from wave 5 low and not that one. So that will still leave us up here at our 50-60% mark here. So if you're going to get out, if you've been a hodler and this is too much heat for you and put too much pressure on whatever you're doing, then this is the place that you would need to get out at the 50 over here. Yeah, and you know the thing is that if that low stays in place, for example, because we would probably say, well, Pete, can the market just go, you know, continue to move straight up from that point, you know? It's possible, but probably a little bit unlikely, because the correction that we're having at the moment is still, in terms of time, is still very young. So this C wave, this B wave could get really complicated. It could be very simple or it could be very complicated. Wave C over here will probably take more time than this 5-wave structure, because this one here moved quite quickly because of all the fear and anxiety, where wave C over here, people have sort of half forgotten about it and half asleep, and it could be quite time consuming here. So yeah, I mean, I may even do the same thing here. It was interesting being involved in all of this, but I've got a spare house. If I sold my Bitcoin here, I could pretty much pay the loan off for that second, that other house. So that might be tempting for me to do that, and then I'll just pick it up back down here again. But what I'm saying is here, the main point, if that low stays in place here, then this move here, right, is very clearly in 3 waves. So because it's corrective, it would make all of this here, it would confirm that this is going to be corrective as well here. Right, so it would be a corrective pattern. If it came down and made new lows, then that would be a slightly different case. At that point, we might be able to rearrange things. But anyway, we'll just keep managing it, and we'll know on the way. We'll know the difference. The time it gets here, we'll know the difference between it being corrective and impulsive at that point. So yeah. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.